We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about what the heck is happening in the market. The market is completely wrecked in a bloodbath, completely down, and we have to look at why and what is happening right now. Should we be worried? Did anything change in the long-term outlook? And could we be in for a bounce here? So far, so good, but there is something exceptionally different in the charts that I also want to show you regarding all the altcoins. And I also want to go a little bit into some other charts around Bitcoin to get a wholesome picture of the situation. So make sure to stay all the way through. So, good morning, good morning, good morning. I see a lot of action in the chat on this Monday morning, and that is unusual, but given the circumstances, I think it's valid, right? So, may I ask you first of all to smash up the like button here for this live stream. If you want to pump it out to more people, then please smash up the like button. Let's assess the situation together. But first of all, good morning, Green Lantern. Good morning to the rare hodlers in general, but good morning, Green Lantern. Good morning, Trucking Hank. Good to see you here. Good morning, Patrick Bultman as well. So many gold medals here. Also, Adam Gill is here. What the fuck is happening? Everything went down to shit. We will see in a second what happened. And yes, a lot of money got wiped out. That is crazy. This feels like maybe the last capitulation before we go. That is one way to see it, and I tend to agree with you. Let's see that from the levels, Andrew. Andrea says, LFG market crash, absolutely. Welcome to WW3. Wow, that bad. I think we saw some trade war, but not yet the world war. And also, if we only have a drawdown of 15% on a world war, that would be a pretty strong market, right? Market makers and exchanges doing their magic, absolutely. This is a mega flush out, as we will see in a second. Good morning, I'm back. I'm back as 2 years ago. Yeah, that's on altcoin heavy portfolios. That might be the situation. If you're Bitcoin heavy, you are back to January 13th. But let's see. Jasper, good morning, and let's jump right into the chart. So what do we have here at our hands? Why do I say you are back to January 13th? Because that's when we were actually lower on Bitcoin, where we hit 89,000. Now we did hit as low as 91,000, and you guys remember that we said that in this range where we are, this would be the lower end target, and that we need to hold that to not have a way nastier correction. Okay, so let's see here what's happening. We have from that high, that high that we just had when everyone got excited and maybe looked at the breakout, including us. I don't want to take myself out. It's not that I'm the Nostradamus of crypto here and the only one that's right. No. I thought that this would be the end and that we actually would break out, which we didn't. Okay, so we have to deal with the situation at hand, which says we are down 16% in a matter of only 14 or 15 days. No, actually 14 days, because this went a little bit further than I wanted. But 16%, that's probably the steepest correction that we had in this bull market so far, right? Let's get this a little bit more out here. And then you see that actually the reason why this feels bad is because we're not in an extensive move, but rather in range bound, right? So we are right now forming in this range. We are touching the lower part, the upper part, coming back to the lower part, and this is where the 16% is happening. But it is similar to, now let's go into the weekly. It is a little bit similar to when we were in this range, only that we are now sideways moving, right? You could argue that this is just a fat bull flag, right? It doesn't feel like one because there's no bull in our current sentiment, but it certainly feels like that time when we went into this mega bull flag. And as you know, this could take a little bit longer. What we see here, or what we saw here when we were looking at the lower time frames, going back to the lower time frame a little bit, is that the buyers are coming in at this level as they have been before. Of course, we don't want to lose this level, because if we do, the next step is down, all the way down to 70, or at least, let's say, probably all the way down to this support here, 80,000, right? Why is this a support? Well, because if we look into this pattern here, you would have this neckline here of an inverse head and shoulders where we broke out, and that would be the retest, right? That would be the perfect retest, maybe with a wick all the way down to 74,000. I said before that if you wanna play, by the way, where's the chat? Where is the, oh, there's the chat. Only no one wrote in the screen. Okay, so I even said a couple of streams ago, or in the last stream, I don't know, that if you break out here, you technically even could want a retest of that before you go, right? I don't say it's happening, this is bad enough, but the negative, the downside, could be another 14%, right? So that you actually have your first bull market, your big fat bull market sell-off. That would be a 30%, which would be absolutely normal in a bull market. This flag was a 30% as well. So it's not the when it says the biggest, it's the biggest like short term, but long term we had a 30% from there to this wick low. Also remember, this felt really bad. That everyone was saying the bear market was back, this time's different, and so on, right? This felt really, really bad. But let's look at what's actually happening, like what is happening right now. Actually, we have to look at this in a second, but because he will explain, he did warn us. Where's the screen? I had the liquidate. Okay, there we go. Liquidation data for you guys. So there we go. A 24-hour liquidation of longs. Take a look at this. What happened in the market here. 24-hour liquidation is 2.23 billion. That might be a record, right? Of which almost 2 billion are longs and only 300 million are shorts, right? So what we have here, and I agree with Green Lantern here, is that that we have a planned liquidation here of market makers, because longs were piling up just too much, and longs, like I mean, this is where exchanges make big money. Obviously, everyone says, "Oh, we don't do this. We would never do blah blah," right? but it's actually where everyone here thought that there is a continuation going on this breakout, right? Basically up here, everyone was starting to long because they wanted to take this breakout, not waiting for confirmation for their long, and they got completely wrecked. And this is why, in my opinion, the main reason why we got such a bad drawdown is all these stacked longs here of almost 2 billion US dollars, right? So we see here most longs got wrecked on ETH, which exceptionally hurts, and then a lot on altcoins, almost 1.2 billion were on altcoins, whereas only 400 million were on Bitcoin. This is also very interesting. And then there is Doge, Sol, ADA, XRP. So a lot of altcoins, right? Where the longs got wrecked. And that's very interesting to me. Okay, so let's listen here to. So I don't predict, but this guy did actually predict. I think it's valid.
Fuck crypto. You don't need the anxiety. Before you bought the bullshit fantasy coin, your life was good. But then you made some money and became greedy. Now the bullshit coin is fucked. And nobody can tell you when it is going to be unfucked. Even the motherfucker who convinced you to buy the bullshit coin, who told you that it is going to be the next big thing, that motherfucker is nowhere to be found. You are on your own. And all you can do is cry about it in the shower and hope and believe that your bullshit coin will go up in price again so that you can sell it and make some money and buy some more and then get fucked all over again. That is crypto.
Wise words here from India, I guess. This is actually great. I mean, and it's also so true, right? The motherfucker who shilled you this bullshit coin is nowhere to be found. You just want to, you hope someone buys your bags. But that's the risk we take here in crypto. The other side is, though, that there are actual fundamentals to the news that beat crypto down, which is the trade war is live, okay? Trade war is happening. New tariffs from President Trump are set to impact 1.3 trillion worth of US trade. The US stock market has lost over 1.5 trillion of market cap, with 43% of all US imports soon subject to tariff. What does that mean? We will see. We will see what it actually means. I remember that there were some tariffs also 8 years ago when Trump was first in office, right? Now he's in office again. This time, though, the tariffs affect Canada, Mexico, and China. And the China tariffs, there were some leftovers from the last time, and now there's more on top of it. So basically, I think the global market is pricing in these tariffs at the moment, right? But if you look at S&P 500, to be honest, like it's not that big of a move, right? I mean, this is the 6 day. I mean, we can also go on the weekly. It doesn't matter, right? But I mean, it's not that big, right? It's not that big of an impact, for example, on the S&P 500. I mean, we can look also at the Dow. What is that, DOJ? No, Dow. What is the Dow ticker? Is that it? NYSE? That should be it, right? That has suffered a little bit more, right? So we don't see it so much in the S&P 500, but in the Dow. So this is the weekly. Let's see how much this sold off on this news. 10%, right? So we're a little bit acting according to market. And the other side, and now look at this. There's a couple of big head scratchers here again, right? So the dollar on this obviously went even stronger, right? which is weird because I thought that Trump wanted a weaker dollar, right? And that he said, as the last time, the dollar is too strong, right? The dollar going here on an absolute 8% tear over the last weeks. When it corrected here, we thought maybe this is the time where we form a lower high. But no. The dollar is rising. The dollar is even stronger, maybe. And this was one theory already, which I talked already a couple of weeks ago. One theory that this puts the US in a better negotiation position as long as Trump wants to negotiate with a stronger dollar, because everyone having debt in dollar, their debt now increases basically. You are having stronger debt. So this might be where you want to have a stronger negotiation position as the US to buy stuff like Greenland or something like that, right? Who knows? But that is a big head scratcher. And then look at this. We get completely wrecked on the TA of Bitcoin dominance. Look at this. And with we, I mean basically me, because we had this nice rising wedge. Bitcoin dominance fell all the way down as planned, came back up, bearishly retested, came down, and now look at this turnaround. Look at this turnaround forming a new all-time high, not all-time high, sorry, a new high on Bitcoin dominance at 64%. I remember when many people said that Bitcoin is not dominance is not even going to 60%, right? Wow. We hit a new high here. We completely invalidated this chart pattern, in my opinion, right? I mean, we are still on this, this is still a valid overhead resistance, but other than that, the chart pattern is completely invalidated. And to be honest, I didn't expect that at all, right? So now we have a completely new situation here at hand where Bitcoin dominance is forming something new. We are still waiting for the turnaround, and it's not in sight. We are now still in a bigger, broader uptrend for Bitcoin dominance, meaning Bitcoin is still winning over all altcoins, meaning it's still important, or it's still outperforming your portfolio, right? Your altcoin portfolio. That is crazy. That is a big head scratcher. Why this is still rising? I mean, we see there has been a lot of sell-off compared to altcoins in the last couple of hours. But overall, we are forming all-time highs here. Let's see the chat here a little bit on this day. Ecomi has been posted randomly. If this causes inflation and rates have to rise, that's game over, right? I still have PTSD from 2021 when the rate hike killed the market. Yeah, me too. That's very true. If the tariffs cause inflation, that would be technically true, because just prices would rise if the tariffs come on top, given that there would be then imports. The question is, if people though buy then from local economy and local economy prices are still at the same, then maybe not, right? The question is if companies will still import, if stuff that's coming from China is more expensive than what's inside the country. But yes, you're right. Price would rise anyways because the cheaper stuff is not coming anymore, right? So can energy costs balance that out? Can energy costs come down by measures? That's the big question. But yes, inflation could rise, and then basically the halt in the interest rate, in the Fed interest rate, that would be then prolonged. If the Fed says they have to hike again, then I would agree with you. Yeah, that would be really, really bad. That would be really bad. Matthew P. Foley says, I lost everything now. I'm homeless with a cat. Wow. Hopefully not in an altcoin, right? But that sounds pretty bad. But that's actually not quite true. You didn't lose everything. Otherwise, how are you in the chat, right? You probably, besides your cat, you still have a smartphone or something like that. Do you still believe in an altcoin run? This is the big question that we will go into right now. This means no alt season. I wouldn't say so. I think that the alt season can still come, but there is a big question mark. Okay, so this will be the narrative now. I see. So altcoin, like other cryptocurrencies, and the Bitcoin market. Okay, you see this here? Okay, so this is the decoupling of Bitcoin and crypto market cap whenever it happens, right? And we see 2 times of the decoupling in the past. One is where Bitcoin rises first and altcoins follow a little bit later, but very closely. And the other one is where altcoins rise and Bitcoin already collapsed, right? This is all we know, right? For example, here in the very last seasons when Bitcoin just goes on a tear, and then altcoins completely outperform. And while altcoins are still up here, Bitcoin is already down in this very, very deep gutter, right? But we have also the other side where Bitcoin is on a tear here, mark this point, and altcoins are only down here, right? So now I see people, including YouTubers like Crypto, saying that we have a decoupling, which is where this time is different, blah blah blah, right? Where the altcoin market just doesn't follow Bitcoin anymore, where Bitcoin completely outperforms the altcoin market. And somewhat, to some extent, it's true, but it's not unseen, in my opinion. Okay, so we have the sideways move together with Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin already pumped, but the altcoins didn't. Usually the altcoins should have followed. But you see that you need so much, with all these altcoins, you need so much inflow into the altcoins to follow here. And at the same time, you have so many altcoins that you don't feel the move really. That is the argument to be made. But look at this part where we moved sideways here and Bitcoin is already up there, right? You see this? Here's the sideways move and Bitcoin is already up there, right? Same here. Here's the sideways move. Bitcoin is already up there, right? So it is a lag, and it's a lag. If you see this here, these parts, we can also overlay this. Maybe we can measure a little bit better. Let's overlay this. I think still, if it doesn't happen within the next 2 months, then I would really say okay, this time is different. But we are not there yet. So let's get quickly rid of these indicators so that I can overlay here. We will bring them back in a second. But let's put in the total 2 in here. So that must be then the same. Let's bring this in here and bring it to this. Okay. Okay. So, and now. Oh, that's different. We need to bring it in here. That is the total 2. Okay. This is what is meant by this chart, right? So it's a very close following, but here, what is being discussed as a decoupling, right, is also happening or happened here on this pullback. You see this here? So here on this rise, it took about 70 days, or let's say from this pump, right? From this pump to the altcoin pump, it took 56 days, right? From here to here. What we're looking at is this to this, right? Let's get this a little bit bigger, a little bit broader, so that you can really see what I mean, right? So this basically, right, where the altcoins went on their massive leg up, right? Total 2 especially. Ethereum. Yeah, so nice by the dip. Ouch, Omeprazole, I'm not that far behind you. You have no idea, almost lost it all. Wait a second. What are you talking about? When people are waking up in Europe? Wow, that's a difficult topic, man. But I don't think that, like some people are, some people will never will. That's basically how it is, right? So you see this rise here in Bitcoin, which could be either like this, right? With us maybe having this mega pullback, or it could be somewhere here already, right? Something like that. In any case, you're having this massive rise is not coinciding time-wise. It's front-running, right? Here we have it coinciding. Everything's coinciding, but now we are front-running, it seems, also here, right? So let's see what's happening. But I think what people say with the decoupling is that we should be up here with the altcoin market cap, right? That we should be with this pink line, that we should be here and not here. I think we will still see a big rise in altcoins. The question is if altcoins are capable of outperforming Bitcoin, and if all altcoins can still, if you can still, like in the last cycle, buy everything, right? That is what is the big question mark. I think what's really good in this graph is that you can see better the discrepancy. You just can't measure the time. But for example, a lag between of like 50-60 days has also happened here, right? So if that then doesn't perform, okay, then we can be worried. But let's wait until, what would that be? Like that would be mid to end of March, right? Bitcoin dominance indicates to us that it's still Bitcoin season and that we got faked, right? We called Bitcoin season here. We called the end of Bitcoin season here, right? We put this arrow here, and it's actually not, right? We got wrecked here. That's true. So Bitcoin season is continuing. People are hoping that Michael Saylor buys the dip. We will see. I don't know why people are praying for Michael Saylor to buy the dip, because that would mean that he controls a lot of Bitcoin supply versus other people not controlling any Bitcoin, right? You should be hoping that he doesn't buy the dip and that retail buys the dip and the plebs are owning more Bitcoin. That's what we should hope, right? April is tax season. We can't afford to be that delayed. Well, let's look at the total 2 here, and let's look at the by the way, that's also a pretty nasty one. We should not lose this support here. So we should buy this month should end up here as a retest, right? But nothing more. Let's look at the last cycle though. When was that? It's actually here. So in the last cycle, we passed the total 2 all-time high in January already. Okay, so this was January. In so far, we are lagging 1 month behind already. And we went all the way, like this whole pump happened until May. And then we had the sell in May go away, which is here. And then we just did another leg up to the final top and that was only in November, right? So we went all the way from January. I mean, this pump happened before, but we are also moving up from way before. And this was our January, very small. Whereas here already was a pump. We have now a big fat retracement, okay? So in that regard, we are different from the last cycle. In that regard, we are very different from the last cycle, that there was no red leg down. Let's look at the other cycle. 2017 okay, so the other cycle, actually January and February were not good. They were green. They were not as bad, but they had also some wicks down. But they were very flat, right? And then the pump started with the 1st of March and it went all the way into August. Little sell off into October, and then the final leg into 2018. So in the last cycle, we pumped the entire year, with the exception of 2 months. Okay, so it's not that if we mimic this cycle, obviously for altcoins, right? Then still we are different, because this cycle, but we also don't know how this month ends. We still have 25 days, only assuming that this candle closes in the red. We can't just say that, because there's 25 days left on February, right? So we can't just say that this time is different because we are 3 days red in February, okay? Because January was green, right? We have to wait and see. Definitely, in my opinion, that's the wrong time to get washed out when we're looking to challenge the all-time high in the total crypto market cap for altcoins, right? Even if we are being outperformed, if we are looking back to Bitcoin after this cycle, and we're saying, okay, Bitcoin is up 6x from the absolute bottom. So our altcoins have to bring us at least these 500%, right? To be, or these, if you want, these 600%. So it's worth to be in our altcoins, right? Otherwise it's not worth, then it just would have been better to just buy Bitcoin down here, right? Assuming that you are not hitting the bottom and something like DCA average bear market, something like in the middle, you would be up 270%, like without the exact bottom, or at the best like 350% here. That's where you have to measure your altcoins against, right? Okay, so that is that. If I look at some of my altcoins, I'm definitely outperforming that, like the 300 or 400%, right? If with the drawdown you're looking at the Mcade or Arweave or Renda or stuff like that, you're still outperforming these gains, right? So let's not fret it, let's not sweat it. And also, we didn't lose a critical level here, right? So this, I mean, we saw the possibility of this drawdown in Bitcoin coming here in the last week. We said, in the worst case, 91,000 for in this range, right? Coming back all the way here, then coming back up, maybe pumping, right? Let's just wait and see. Also on this weekly candle, 6 days and 18 hours left. We've just opened this candle and tested down here. Let's just recap. Even if we were to come down all the way here, or even wick down to this level, the bull market would not be over, okay? It would hurt immensely. It would be the buying opportunity of our lifetimes, right? For altcoins, if we want to be degenerate. I'm not, everyone do their own thing, right? Don't do anything that you're not comfortable with. Don't use any money that you cannot afford to lose. But this would be possible without the bear market starting, right? This would be possible without, on top of this, right? Then bounce back up, having completed a retest on top of this orange line, which I showed in the beginning, right? So this definitely, all of that is in the cards. And I think if you are, so first of all, Bitcoin is the dumpiest before it is the pumpiest. Smash the like button for that one. Secondly, if you are not able to stomach the 30% correction, you're not worth the 10 or 20x, okay? Of course, we have to assess where we are, but we need to be realistic here. Everything can happen in crypto. Black swans can happen in the world. Markets can go spiral out of control. And you have seen look at this, even a global pandemic. Put yourself into the shoes of an altcoin bull here, like a Bitcoin bull here, a crypto bull here, where it's like, oh, we are out of the trough, blah, blah. And then coming back, wow, this time is different. And then like here's already, this time is different, we're going down, the bear market has started again, you're all stupid for holding Bitcoin. Imagine how that must have felt. And then it's coming back up, it's like, oh, I bought the dip, and then this thing happens, right? And for a couple of weeks, everything goes to shit. 65% drawdown. Remember, we have 16%. 16% drawdown. And then, in the middle of the mega crisis, it's over. It's just over, and boom, everything just goes on a mega rally, right? Out of nothing. After a couple of weeks. You think that tariffs are bad? Think about this. Global shutdown of the entire world economy. 61% drawdown, 65% drawdown. Every crypto portfolio minus 50-60% deep in the red. Right? No. Let's take the opportunity here. Let's see the opportunity here. Out of this drawdown, this is nothing compared to what has already been in crypto. This is nothing. Remember this, 6-7 months downwards. There's no way. Remember, global liquidity has to expand at some point. The entire world is in debt. There's only one way around it, and that is global liquidity expansion. It will happen, and crypto and all risk on assets will follow. Okay? Let's make that into a bumper sticker. Let's see, 99% of YouTubers lied to the people and told everyone in January the 25th will be the bull run. That's why I love this channel. Greetings from the Netherlands. Okay, thank you very much for that, and greetings back to the Netherlands. And by the way, I also thought that we would start rallying right now. A lot of things pointed in that direction, but you cannot neglect the chance to always move contrary to what everyone else thinks. It's always possible in crypto, right? So let's see here. With that, let's look at it a little bit more. Usually, there are only a couple of scenarios where you get flushed out, like where retail gets flushed out that hard, right? Last time, that was when retail was already in, right? Big time. It was in this dip, right? And then it was here. Okay, we had that 3 times now. And it's the lowest in this cycle, right? So we had it here as well, by the way, way in the secret. So we are poised to have a big fat bounce unless we are entering a bear market, right? So then, if that is in question, then we have to ask ourselves, do any indicators show that we might have entered a bear market? Wait a second. Let's get the right TSI here. And we have to go on the monthly, because otherwise you will always have. And the answer is no. We don't have an indicator that says that, right? We have a little bump here in the TSI, but the TSI is very, very broad, and there is no indication yet that we are entering a bear market just yet, right? So the TSI doesn't show that to us. How about the RSI? Does the RSI show anything like that? And also here, no, the RSI was quickly in overbought territory, but only at the maximum level, 76. Nothing in the 80s where you would expect it, right? Also, the RSI has an uptrend here on the monthly, which is not broken yet, right? Maybe this is something to observe, where you would say, okay, if you break that RSI uptrend, that could be a problem, right? But it's not there yet. So we are expecting this uptrend to go higher, like here, like in this. Everything looks like 2017 bull market as for now, right? You see this uptrend here in the RSI. So technically, you would have this bump. You see these 2 small peaks here, also here, right? This is something that we should at least take a look, right, on the monthly, as well as, of course, our downward sloping trend here, which also hasn't been hit yet. And actually we're slowing down here, which puts our top potential a little bit further to the like, if we were to move like this, we could actually top out way later. And yeah, if we were moving sideways on this TSI or something like that, right? So you see here, we could now look at April, May if we pump again, right? So really, I will be, personally, what I will do, I will wait until this hits this line for sure, right? For Bitcoin profit taking. Small Bitcoin bag that I have that I want to take profit on to trade, right? The rest is long-term to forever hodl, right? But these are some of the indicators. Let's look at stochastic RSI. And why, you could say, why are we looking at this? Why are we not looking at altcoins? Well, the reason is that it doesn't really matter that we look at altcoins. By the way, this is actually, this would be if we were to close the month like this, which we are not yet, this would be bad, right? However, like this cross would be only confirmed then if the orange line also goes into the blue zone again, right? Which here, for example, also didn't happen, right? You see here's a fake out and then was another push to the upside. So usually, and this is something that could be happening like here in stochastic RSI, which is also the 2017 bull market, where we wiggle and have a lot of fake out crosses while we are just heading higher, right? No one indicator will tell us the end of the market. Plus, we have a full list of top indicators still that we are looking at, refreshing here, that did not flash, right? So usually you would expect one or two top indicators to flash. This you can get at coinglass.com/bull market peak signals. And we have here the Pi cycle top indicator, did not flash. Pool multiple, did not flash. Bitcoin rainbow chart, did not flash. Days of ETF net outflows, also not flashing. ETF to BTC ratio, not flashing. 2-year MA multiplier, not flashing. MVRVZ score is not flashing. Bitcoin bubble index, not flashing. And so on. There are many top indicators, and none of these, like 0 of 30, have flashed, right? That makes me very confident that this is just a normal bull market correction and not a peak or not a top, right? Of course, we don't want to wait until everything says top, because then we are too late, right? Maybe we'll get another $6 trillion print and giveaway. maybe, who knows? But that doesn't sound like Department of Government efficiency, right? And this is something really to discuss here. Is what would be the one thing that is really bad for the risk on assets? And that would be cost cutting, right? Because cost cutting means less money printing, means less stimulus into the economy, means bad times, right? For that. And by the way, this is something that I observed in many countries already. That conservative governments, many conservative governments, they do one thing. They do the cost cutting, they do all this nasty politics that hurts also a little bit to set a country up for a path in the future, and then you get 4 years later the other side, and then basically let's say socialist and so on governments, they then have a lot of money to spend, right, and to make presents. So let's hope that this doesn't go into full-fledged that direction. 4 years of cost cutting just so another government can spend everything. But usually that is something that happens in many countries. At least I've seen that in some countries already. But let's not get too much into politics here. Well, let's look at how this looks in the Bitcoin cycle comparison as one of the things. So now here's really dip territory. And by the way, this is from a cycle timing where we were already close to a peak also, and had this peak pullback in February of 2021, right? From a cycle comparison. You see in this very first cycle blue line, we had one more pullback in February as well, and then we had a massive run. In our last cycle, we had a pullback, and then we had a little bit of a run, but that's it, right? And then in the 2017 cycle, we were already out of the dip here and running, which told me that very likely we should be running here during February. Let's look at this, because February, this is here February 25th, right? Maybe we have a flush out here and we're running still in February. Let's wait and see. If we are starting to completely decouple from these trajectories, we will know. We will very closely observe this in the future, right? And then there is another Bitcoin comparison. Let's look at this. Where also now, let's get rid of this era and let's not look at the first one. But now we see that actually now we are the worst of all of these cycles, right? At the moment, performance-wise, we are in the worst spot, and we are already from a timing cycle-wise. This is is that the correct one? Yeah, exactly. So we're cycle-wise where we should be close to a top as well. So let's see if we can catch up again to the orange line here, which is the 2017 cycle. But right now, this dip is worse than we had in the other cycles. Okay, so this is also why myself and many others expected this to rally already. We will see. We will see if we rally in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We will know if we can follow this trajectory. Until now, and this is something that should give us hope. Oops, now I clicked something. Okay, there we go. Now, what should give us hope is that even though we had underperformed and dipped below or above, we have usually realigned with this after a while, right? So here we have, for example, at this part, we have completely outperformed it before this happened, and then here we have completely underperformed it until we realigned after a while. So we cannot say this yet. I hold Algorand and Hedera. I think you can't go too wrong with that unless the entire altcoin market goes completely to zero, right? Which is not what we are seeing. But now, look at this red in the altcoin market. Everything is down minus 15 to minus 20%. Everything in the altcoin market is completely wrecked. Even on the week, it's even worse. Pengu down 50%. Wow. 70% on the month. Pengu is completely wrecked. Maybe that's something. Maybe now it's the time to buy or so. Maybe I'll buy some Pengu now. Who knows? But yeah, Pengu is completely down, completely wrecked. The market in the gutter. The rest is more for like in the same 20 to 30%, and this can even intensify, right? And this feels really bad, right? On the month, XCN is the only thing that is green on the month, basically. DEXE also a little bit. KuCoin token and like the exchange tokens are green. But overall, like on the weekly, wow, this is a bloodbath, right? There's AIC, but other than that, like EOS is down 42%, Stark token 33%, what is that? Is that Axie Infinity still? That's still around minus 24%. Mana minus 26%. Cake minus 25%. Wow, everything's red. Everything's like bleeding out at the moment. Don't be too much afraid of this, because we can bounce back very, very quickly. We have seen that many times. The bounce back can be very, very quickly, but I think this is definitely buy the dip opportunity. If you believe that the altcoin cycle is going to go crazy, then we can still buy here. Blur minus 30% if you believe in NFT marketplaces, as well as Chili's down only 18%, Arweave down 20%. AKT, also good project in my opinion, minus 22%. So you see this here, right? A lot is on discount. On average, on the week, everything's on the 20% discount. We also see that on the exchanges, it's even worse, like minus 23, minus 20, minus 22, minus, like everything's in the gutter. Okay, so you get a minus 20% discount at least on all of the projects that you loved to buy only a couple of weeks ago. So has anything changed fundamentally despite fear in the market? That is the question that you have to ask yourself. And I think what really suffered big time is look at this here. Wow, the total 2. But look at the total 2. I mean, the altcoins, they're already being bought up, like on total 2. And I think on excuse me, on others it is probably even crazier. Yeah, look at this. Wow, that is crazy. We almost went to dip down into where we were in September 2024. We almost went down to this level, but also being bought up already. The altcoin market got such a huge wipeout. Look at this. The others, they got such a huge wipeout. 50% drawdown since the last high. But now massive buying is coming in. Wow. Okay, so this is really crazy. And the question is, so what we definitely did not have, we definitely did not hold the cup and handle, right? At least, yeah, you could argue you did, but it doesn't look as clean anymore, right? So that is a little bit of a bummer. But let's see how the week closes. Look at this. So definitely, like the others, wow, there's such a huge outflow out of the others. So that doesn't look as clean as before. So definitely something's going on here for the altcoins, right? We will see. We will see. I still will stick to my altcoin portfolio because I still think that an outperformance can come and that this other market cap goes to $1 trillion, which would be a 4x from here for the entire market. I think, but I'm not sure that people will buy massive now and it will go up. I don't say I'm right. It's just my feeling. Yeah, this comes down to conviction now, and also it comes down to a little bit like how much money is there in the market, right? Are people economically, financially wrecked, or will they have money left over to ape it into altcoins, right? For sure, economies wherever you are, like in the US, in Europe, everywhere around the world, they will need stimulus, right? These economies need stimulus, otherwise it will be really bad. We saw it in Germany, for example. The forecast for economic growth in Germany is has been reduced from 1.1% gross domestic product increase to only 0.3%. Like, we are not growing since years. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I think the rest of Europe is similar, right? So this needs stimulus to get the economy growing again, right? And we need to stop, in Europe especially, we need to stop just doing stuff like that the plastic bottle caps are now attached to the neck of the bottle, yeah? And going back to like insane, breathtaking engineering that we are known for. In the world, right? So yeah, that's definitely what needs to happen, right? But anyway, that's a topic for another thing, right? But I actually don't want to turn. I don't want to have Europe turn into an open air museum, right? Because right now it seems that this is the trajectory, and I really don't like that. For the altcoins, though, let's see. Maybe so. What we still have is an intact uptrend, right? That's still given for the altcoins. According to this guy, we're close to bouncing here for the like others against BTC, right? That's others against BTC. We should be bouncing here fairly soon, right? If we don't bounce, if we lose this level, then we can say this time is different, because in all of crypto history we have held this uptrend, right? So this uptrend needs to hold others against BTC. Actually, can I pull this up here also, right? I mean, this would be something very interesting to follow. Others. How do I do this? How do I place others against BTC? How do I do that? Anyone know? If you know, let me know in the like which sign do I have to put to get the same chart, like others against BTC. What is others against BTC? Yeah, others is all altcoins except the top 10. And against BTC, it would mean on their BTC pair, right? So it would mean how they are doing compared to BTC, right? So this, I mean, we could also look at others dominance, which, okay. So this needs to recover. This definitely needs to recover here, because do you see this? We had this a long time when we said we should bounce here, and we did, but now it looks like we're losing this level. Okay, so this is bad. This would be bad. Let's put it that way, right? Yeah, except the top 10. But that would mean that everything except the top 10 would get completely wrecked if we would lose this channel, right? But still, we have 25 days. But good that we looked at it, because we should be keeping a close eye on that, so that we don't close the month outside of this. Otherwise, we would probably go all the way down here. In that, others dominance would mean we get wrecked compared to the top 10, right? It basically means top 10 coins would be completely outperforming the others, which would be bad, right? It would be really bad. This is a monthly chart, so we really don't want to lose this level, right? Long time that we haven't looked at this. Last time was in November 24. Okay, but yeah, today we by the way, last look at Ecomi. We're still in this falling wedge. Nothing has changed, other than that we're headed to the lower band price level of 0.0022 or something like that. Also, Ecomi is at very low prices here. And we're hoping that at some point there is going to be a recovery. But anyways, guys, today that is it. You could argue now, why are you not looking at Veve and Ecomi? I think it doesn't matter at the moment, as the macro is in the gutter. There's nothing different for Ecomi and Veve than this, right? So I'm not going to look at this today. Make sure to smash up the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Let me know in the comments also below what you think about this. Very important to smash the like button. We have 40 people here, and I don't believe we have 40 likes. So please smash the like button on your way out. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I catch you in the next video or live stream. Bye.